Welcome to Big Daddy's Storytime. We're reading Walt Disney's A Bug Life, Flik's Big Idea. Can you see Flik there? You can see him? Great job. Would you like to read a story about Flik's big idea? You would? Okay, let's get started. Once there was a little bug with big ideas. Flik loved dreaming up ways to help all the ants living on Ant Island. He even invented a special harvesting machine that would do the work of 20 ants. Oh, wow! And none too soon, since the harvest was upon them. This year, young Princess Ada was in charge of the harvest. She had to make sure that the hard-working ants gathered enough food for themselves and for a greedy gang of big, mean grasshoppers. Ada shuddered to think what would happen if there wasn't enough food. But sure enough, something went wrong with Flik's invention. Just before the grasshoppers arrived, the harvester tipped over, knocking out all the food into the river. "Where's my food?" bellowed Hopper, the cruel leader of the grasshoppers. He turned to face Ada. "You know how things work, don't you? The ants pick the food, the grasshoppers eat the food. And the birds eat the grasshoppers," snickered Walt, Hopper's young brother. Hopper whipped around and glared at Walt. Thought Flik. Hopper is afraid of birds? I'll have to remember that. "You ants are forgetting your place," continued Hopper. "Let's double the food order. We'll be back when the last leaf falls." And with that, he and the other grasshoppers left the colony. The Ant Council was furious with Flik for destroying the offering. But as usual, Flik had an idea. "I'll go to the city," he announced, "and I'll bring back bigger bugs to scare the grasshoppers away for good." All the ants thought the plan was crazy, but they wanted to get rid of Flik before he got them into bigger trouble. The only ant who was sad to see Flik go was Princess Dot, Ada's little sister. "Good luck! I believe in you," she cried as Flik took off. As soon as Flik reached the city, he came across a rough, tumble team of warrior bugs. They were right in the middle of a big fight. "What luck," he says, Flik thought as he watched the warriors in action. Flik convinced the warrior bugs to go back with him to Ant Island. The ants were so happy, they threw a welcoming banquet. Things were finally going Flik's way. But soon, Flik got some bad news. His warrior bugs were really circus bugs. They had all just been fired from PT Flik's circus. "Oh no! We thought you were a talent agent," Rosie the spider explained. The curious bugs didn't want to fight a scary gang of grasshoppers, so they began to leave. Wait! You can't go! You have to help me!" Flik cried frantically. He begged the bugs to stay. At last, until he could come up with a plan. He had to do things right for once. He had to save the colony. As Flik chased other bugs, a hungry sparrow suddenly flew overhead. It was looking for a yummy bug snack. Flik and the circus bugs ran away as fast as they could. The bird was just about to catch them when Princess Dot appeared. "Flik! Flik!" Dot called as the bird flew right at her. With the help of the circus bugs and a circus trick or two, Flik rescued Dot. The whole ant colony clapped and cheered. "Yay! Yay!" The circus bugs were thrilled. At last an audience was applauding them. "I'm in heaven!" Francis the ladybug cried. Even though his legs had been hurt, his royal friends decided to stay, and loyal friends decided to stay while he healed. "This gives me time to save the colony," thought Flik. Knowing the colony wouldn't listen to him at first, Flik convinced the circus bugs to help. And as soon as everyone began to work on Flik's plan to create a fake bird that would scare Hopper and his gang away, what a wonderful idea! That had been Flik's another big idea. Flik's luck didn't last long though. On the day the bird was finished, oh no, PT Flea arrived on Ant Island. He was looking for his lost circus act. You mean the bugs aren't warriors? Cried Ada. PT laughed. Warriors? Oh, you are kidding, right? These guys are the lousiest circus bug you've ever seen. Flik, said Ada, you lied to the colony, to the queen, and lied to me? Flik was sent away from the colony and told never to return. Flik felt like a real failure. Maybe the ant colony is right, he said. It seems that his big ideas had ruined everything, and one thing was for sure, Princess Ada hated him now. Sadly, Flik left his home on Ant Island. But no sooner had Flik and the circus bug left, Dot caught up with them, bringing terrible news. The grasshoppers had come back. The grasshoppers had come back and invaded the colony, said Dot. All the ants were prisoners except for Dot and her blueberry troop, who had managed to hide. Hopper plans to work the ants until all the food is his, then squash the queen, Dot cried. Flik, you gotta help. I know you can. I believe in you. Of course, Flik had a plan, but to pull it off, he would need help. Luckily, the circus bugs were ready to pitch in, and as soon as the group returned to Ant Island, Flik rallied Dot's blueberry troop to help too. Following Flik's plan, Dot and the blueberries climbed inside. The fake bird with Flik, while the circus bugs prepared for the show of their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, larvae of all stages, rub your legs, gather for the world's greatest bug circus. Slim, the walking stick, announced to the surprised grasshoppers as they feasted on stolen grain. Hopper was suspicious at first, but as soon as he and his gang were enjoying the show, everything seemed to be all right. While Manny the Mantis performed his magic, Flik and the brave blueberries got ready to fly. Soon the fake bird swooped over the circus. Oh no! The plan seemed to be working. Hopper was terrified. He and his grasshoppers sprang away in horror. No! But there was one problem. Nobody had told P.T. Flea about the fake bird, and P.T. thought it was real. So to save his performers from the winged beast, he set it on fire. No! As the tail burst into flames, the bird came crashing down. Flik scrambled to help the blueberries to safety. Suddenly, everything went from bad to worse. Hopper attacked Flik and took Ada hostage. Let this be a lesson, he snarled to the ants. Ideas are dangerous things. You are not meant to have ideas. You are losers put on this earth to serve us. Tell them what to do, Princess Ada. To Hopper's surprise, the brave princess shouted, Charge! And that's just what the ants and the bugs did. It was a terrible battle, and at first it didn't seem clear who would win. But Flik was determined to make sure that Hopper would never return. He tricked Hopper into entering a real bird's nest, and that was the end to the leader of the grasshoppers. The ants were victorious! The colony was saved. In celebration, the ants held a big farewell party for P.T. Flea's circus. Thanks to you all for saving us back hope and giving us back hope. Our dignity and our lives, the queen said. Ada said to the warriors as she bade them goodbye. Then she slammed her antenna around Flik's and said thanks to the little ant with the big ideas. The colony was free at last. What have we learned today, my friends? We learned from Flik, Princess Ada, Hopper, the cruel leader of the grasshoppers, Halt, the Hopper's little brother, Princess Dot, the circus bugs, Rosie the spider, Francis the ladybug, and the blueberry troop, and Manny the mantis. When friends help each other, that's right, my friends, wonderful things can happen. Be sure to be a good friend today. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Big Daddy Storytime. God bless.